My name is Kevin Kamerad, and this is a book that I wrote and illustrated called The Tomato Collection. It's a collection of poems and lots of different illustrations, but we also turned every poem into a song, and we made this CD. It took me 5.5 years to create the book and the album. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so over on the other side of the state. Most of the musicians that worked on this album also live in that area. In fact, there's about 50 different musicians who helped me to create the album. It took 5.5 years to put it all together. So today, what I'm going to do is have some fun with these poems and these songs for a little bit. So it's meant to be kind of some fun, goofy stuff. And then the other parts of the show will be kind of just like now, where I want to have your attention and kind of show you how I made this book. You'll be able to see how it all started with a journal that my grandmother gave me for Christmas. I brought along this character also. His name is Norwood. He's a character that I built out of junk. I'll be talking about him a little bit later on. If you have some questions, there'll be a time where I can answer some questions that you might have. But to begin, I'm going to bring out this guy right here. His name is Jacob. And Jacob sings a couple of the songs on the album. So what do you think, Jacob? I was thinking we should start out by first singing... What are you doing here? You need this little hat on? All right, Jacob has this little hat that he likes to wear. The problem with the hat is it never stays on. So if I put this on, you got to make sure it stays on, all right? You're sure? You're positive. All right, the very first song that we're going to sing for you is a song called The Couch. It's about a couch who likes to eat people. And this poem is on page 27 of the book. When I was, what are you doing here? Thank you. What I was trying to say is when I was working on this book, one day I was sitting in my living room and a friend of mine stopped over and he said, "Hey Kev, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, hey, I'm working on my book." And so I asked him that day, I said, "Do you have any suggestions for me? Anything you think I should write about to put in this book?" He said, "You should write a poem about a couch who eats people." Let me know, couch, hope you know what to do if it ever happens to you. Couch, just eat my bread, I don't know what to do. Beware, it could happen to you. Hey, that couch ain't my friend, I'm afraid to say it's true. But it ain't my sister too. Let me know, couch, hope you know what to do if it ever happens to you. Song The Couch. We're gonna have to work for it. There we go. Alright, we're gonna do a couple more songs here. This next one that we're gonna sing. Do you need some help there with your hat? Alright, I will help you put this hat back on, but you gotta make sure it stays on, alright? You're sure? All right, you said that last time. You're sure? All right, the song we're going to sing next is a song called Alphabet Rain. Now, the chorus to this song is really easy to sing along to because the chorus is simply the alphabet sung twice. So does anybody here happen to know the alphabet? Well, if you want to sing along with us, listen to how we sing it, and then you're welcome to start singing along with us. Jacob's going to sing the chorus. He'll sing that part of the song. I'll sing the poem. It's called Alphabet Rain. This is page 33.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
It's raining capital Z's, lowercase b's, couple of E's and few little Z's. It's crazy thing. Alright, here comes the chorus again. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. It's raining capital Z's, lowercase b's, couple of D's and a few little Z's. It's crazy thing I'm getting on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. By singing the alphabet 3 more times. Now I think most of you know how it goes by now, so what do you think, Jacob? Do you think they could sing louder than us? A, B, C, D, E, H, I, J, K, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Here's the last one. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Whew, I probably should have known better than to challenge you guys there. That's Alphabet Rain. Thanks for singing along with us. Give yourselves a round of applause for that excellent singing you did there. Whew, that was pretty loud there. Well, Jacob, let's do one more song here. This next song that we're going to sing is called... what are you doing? You need your hat on again? Is that what you're looking for there? All right. I'll put this on one last time, but this is the last time I want to put this on. All right? You're gonna make sure it stays on, right? Positive. Well, the song we're gonna sing for you right now. This one's called "How to Cook an Egg." This is page 16. Thank you. Are you ready to help me with this song now, Jacob? All right, eventually we'll get to this one. It's called How to Cook an Egg. This is how I learned how to cook an egg. Woo! Raise a chicken and name her Meg. Wait for your chicken to lay an egg. Find a pan and find a stove. Turn the heat down very low. Then put that egg right in your pan. Wait around, just sit or stand. Once she's hatched, you'll be happy to see There's a chirping addition to your family. That was a short song. All right, well, I want to move on to some other things. I want to put Jacob away now because I want to tell you about some of the illustrations and show you some of the... What do you mean, no? Let me remind you something, Jacob. Who's in charge here? You think so, huh? Well, tell you what I'll let you do. Before you go, you can do one of your tricks for us, all right? Jacob has a few tricks up his sleeve, so right now, why don't you do for us your one-handed handstand? You ready to do the one-handed handstand? All right, are you warming up or something here? All right, on the count of 3, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! That is Jacob's one-handed handstand. Well, Jacob will be back later in the show to sing some more songs. Right now, what I'd like to do, though, is tell you a little bit about some of the illustrations in this. Get in there. A couple of the illustrations. The very first poem in this book is a poem called Frogs and Toads. Now we see that poem right here, and part of the illustration for that poem includes a photograph of a little kid. Does anybody have any idea who that little kid might be? I'll give you a clue. I guess you didn't even need my clue. Yes, that's me when I was just a little guy. I was about 3 years old when that picture was taken. Well, my sisters are in this book also. This is Christy, and this is Lori. I'm the youngest in the family, so these photographs were all taken many years ago. Well, anybody recognize this character? Yes, that is Jacob, the little guy you saw singing there with me. This is a picture that I drew of Jacob using some markers. Well, the song that we just finished singing for you was called How to Cook an Egg. Here's the poem. I drew a chicken using some markers to go along with it. Well, this character, his name is Norwood. Yeah, you know who he is. He's a character built out of some junk. Well, I brought Norwood along with me today to show you. He's built out of one big piece of wire that normally would have been used to build a fence. And I found this wire in my friend's grandmother's garage. She had a pile of things that she wanted to get rid of. And this wire, this big ball of wire, is one of those things. And so I asked her, could I have those things? You want to get rid of those? She said, yeah, I want to get rid of them. So I brought home that wire and some other things. Well, I love to go to garage sales, and at a garage sale, I found a box of these. Does anybody know what his eyes are made out of? I think they're wheels. Yeah, exactly. Those are wheels from the bottom of a chair maybe or a couch. Well, this garage sale that I was at, they had a box filled with those wheels, and I picked up 2 of them, and I thought, wow, those look like eyes. So I used the wheels for eyes. I used that wire, and the wire's wrapped around some springs, some gas pipes made out of copper, a broken piece out of a washing machine, part of what holds a muffler onto a car. So all these things, I used this wire to wrap around them, and I built Norwood. It took me about 3 hours to build him. I started down here with his foot, and I could bend the wire and wrap it around and twist it and turn it, and I went up here and made the arms and put the wheels on top, and the wire actually ends right there. Well, it took about 3 hours to build him, and I didn't know exactly what he was going to look like as I built him. I just thought, okay, let's see how this turns out. Well, sometimes people say to me, he looks like a robot. So does he do anything? So what do you think? Do you think Norwood here can do anything? Yes. Yes? No? Maybe? Well, as a matter of fact, yes, Norwood does do something. So I'm going to show you what it is that Norwood can do. Now, it took a while to get this to work. It's kind of interesting here, so let me make sure he's set up correctly. Okay, on the count of 3. If you want to count with me, here we go. You'll see what he does. Ready? 1, 2, 3. He can dance. Yeah? Did you see him dancing there? Yeah? Very neat, huh? Yeah? No? Sort of? Anyways, that's Norwood. And maybe one of these days I'll try to build a character that does really do something exciting. But that's Norwood. And I built 2 other characters for this book. One of those characters we see right there, his name is Bradford. He's a little bit shorter than Norwood. I leave him at home because he's pretty fragile. He would break if I moved him around too much. Well, I also built Ethan. It's this character right here. He's the tallest of them all. In real life, he's about this tall from the ground. I also leave him at home because he too is pretty fragile, plus he's just really large. So all 3 of those characters I built out of stuff, just having fun, thinking, all right, let's see what I can build here. Well, we sang for you a little bit earlier the song, The Couch. There's the poem. I used some crayons to draw a picture of a couch to go along with it. Who do you think this is a picture of? Me? Do you think I'd... My sister? Do you think I'd embarrass my sister and put a picture of her looking like this in the book? Oh yeah, I would do that. Yes, that is who it is. It's my sister Lori. The poem is called Pumpkin Belly. It's about growing a pumpkin in your belly from eating pumpkin seeds. Think that could really happen? No. Probably not. But one day I was eating pumpkin seeds and I was thinking to myself, you know, that's weird that we eat pumpkin seeds. Well, you know, maybe, what if it did grow a pumpkin down there? And so I started to work on that poem. Well, it was quite a bit later. I was visiting my parents and we were looking through some photo albums. And I ran across this picture and I started to laugh just because I thought it's a funny picture. But then I thought, you know, it looks like there is a pumpkin in Lori's belly. I could use that picture to go along with that poem in my book. So I decided to use that picture, and I also found another photograph that had a pumpkin in it. So I started thinking with those pictures, well, what other pictures could I use? So I found some other ones. Here's my other sister, Christy, inside of a laundry basket to go with this poem. And so that day I collected a bunch of pictures to go along with some of these poems. Well, this is Alphabet Rain. We sang that song for you. I drew all the letters of the alphabet in uppercase and in lowercase to go along with it. There's one poem in here about a little man who lives inside of a toilet. And I wouldn't want to be that guy. So the book is filled with lots of different poems about lots of different things. And there's one story included in this book. That story is found right here. It's called Magooey and a Cheugy. And this is kind of a fun, goofy, silly story. So I'd like to read the story for you right now. However, I'd like to make it a little bit more entertaining. So to do that, would you like to see a few of your teachers look a little goofy up here? So the real question is, do you think any of your teachers would be willing to come up here and help me out? Well, I need 3 of them. So any 3 who will be gracious enough to please come forward. If you could please come forward. And the sooner you come, the better. I know there's added pressure here with the cameras on and everything. But all right, we've got 1, we've got 2. We need 1 more. All right, we made it. Okay, if you could stand right there, face the audience, be shoulder to shoulder. All right, this is how it's going to work. All right, if maybe everyone kind of sit back down so everybody can see. This is how it's going to work. They are now going to become the 3 main characters from the story Magooey and a Cheugy. So for the next few moments, we have Papa Wizard, Magooey Balooey, and a Cheugy a Boogie. All right, so on the count of 3, everyone's going to say action. When everybody says action, I start to read the story, but more importantly, they are going to perform that story for us. Now, there's a few speaking parts, but I'll help you out with those. Nothing to worry about. You'll catch on real quick. So here we go on the count of 3. You know what to do. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Here's a little story about Magooey Balooey, a baboon raccoon. And a Cheugy a Boogie, a chunky monkey. Well, Magooey and a Cheugy, they love to swim. So they swimmed and they swam. They run and they ran. They hipped and they hopped. And they bipped and they bopped. But then one day, Papa Wizard, the magical lizard, declared, real loud, you're going to say, no more fun.
No more fun.
Oh, no. So Magooey, you say, what? And then Cheugy says, what do we do?
What do we do?
So the days went on, and everything was quiet. Nobody runned, nobody ran, nobody swimmed, nobody swam. Then Magooey said to a Cheugy, something must be done.
Something's got to be done.
And the Cheugy said, yeah, something's got to be done.
Yes, something has to be done.
So they went to solve the problem of Papa Wizard, the magical lizard. After 4.5 days of planning and scheming and planning, they finally had a plan. At 4:10 p.m. on a Thursday, Magooey and a Cheugy trapped Papa Wizard, the magical lizard, in the center of town. Then, with the help of Zalito Berlito, Toluca Shaluka, Nino Dalino, Superfly, Cooperfly, and everybody else in town, so it's everybody here, what happened was everybody began to play. So you just wave your arms in the air. There we go. And everybody began to laugh. And everybody began to cheer. Woo-hoo! And everybody began to sing. La 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 la. And the fun was so incredible that Papa Wizard had no choice but to sing and dance along. So once again, Magooey and Achugi and everyone else, everybody here, they swimmed and they swam, they run and they ran, they hipped and they hopped, and they bipped and they bopped. All right, give them a round of applause, please. All right, well that's the story of Magooey and Achugi, and that's going to be a tough act for me to follow there, I think, because that was pretty good performance there. But what I want to do is just for a couple minutes here, I want to show you some stuff I brought along. I have a question for you first, though. Do you think when I wrote the poems in this book, do you think I wrote them perfect on the first try? I wish it was that easy. But what I would do when I wrote the poems in this tomato collection, they all began by writing in journals. And this is the first journal that I started the tomato collection in. My grandma gave this to me when I was in my first year of college. I went to Grand Valley State University, and I went there to study film and video production. So I thought that'd be my job someday, making videos or films. But I thought instead with this journal, as it started to develop, I started thinking, you know, maybe I should do something with these poems. And so I finished to get my degree in film and video production, but along the way at those years I was at Grand Valley, I was working on this book. In fact, the very first thing I wrote in my journal, when I started this whole thing, it said, "Hi, this is my new book. I don't know what I'm going to write in it, but I guess I'll know when it's done." So it started just kind of for fun, just as a hobby, just writing some thoughts and ideas. Well, this entire journal was filled up with all kinds of different things. I went on to then fill a second journal, a third journal, a fourth journal, part of a fifth journal. In fact, I brought along also journal number 3 here to show you. Looks pretty similar to the other ones. And I also brought along journal number 5. This is the smallest journal of them all, but in here is the first draft to the story Magooey and Achugi. So that story that we just performed, when that was first an idea in my head, this is what I wrote. Magooey Balooey was a brutal turtle, and Texas Lexus was a chunky monkey. They'd swim and they swam, they ran and they runned, they jumped, and then they were done. The end. And that was it, and I thought, that's interesting. It's kind of a little story, but it's not really a story. It's kind of make it a little more interesting, I guess. So I started to brainstorm, and I wrote down giraffe, turtle, penguin, chicken, pony, monkey. Made a list of ideas for characters. Well, I made draft number 2 then of the story. It went from here to here to there to there. And I'm not sure who that was supposed to be, but you see that I'm kind of changing things around, crossing things around. I first start with an idea in my head, and then I think, okay, well, let's look at this idea and let's see what I can change, what I can add to make it better. All the poems and all this, everything in the tomato collection began in those journals. Well, this right here, you know what this is? It's the first copy of the tomato collection. It's some of those poems that I wrote in those journals, some of the first poems that I wrote. I put some of those together here on pieces of paper, stapled it together, and there's my first copy of the book. Well, I looked at that book and thought, okay, that's not a bad start, but why don't I make that a little bit better? So I made next draft number 2. It's a little bit better than that first one. I added some poems and I changed some things on some of the poems. So that's draft number 2, followed by number 3, followed by 4.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
To number 10, and this, by the way, this is one of the deluxe edition copies. Has a built-in bookmark. Yeah, kind of neat. But every time I made a new copy, I'd read through my poems and I would think, okay, let's change this, let's cross off that word. And sometimes all of a sudden I would think, oh, I got a whole new idea. This will make it much better, so let me change this. So over time, slowly, this book developed. Now this is going to look different, but this is copy number 11 of the book, followed by 12,
13, 14, 15, 16,
number 17. I can't even hold them there. So I got up to draft number 17 of the book. Well, at that point I thought, okay, I want to start working on these illustrations, and I want this to be a full color picture book. So this right here, this is actually the final copy of the book with all the pictures in there and all the poems. But what I did to finish this book here was I first took all the poems in that last copy, number 17. I put each poem on its own page, and those pieces of paper would slide in these plastic pages. And one at a time, I added illustrations. So I would work on an illustration, I'd pull that old page out, and I'd put in the new page that I had printed on the printer. And slowly slowly but surely I was adding illustrations to the book. And I was rearranging the poems, and I was still revising them, still working to make the poetry better. But after 4 years of work, the book was finished. But I want to show you one more thing. The cover of my book went through some changes. This was the first cover that I made, draft number 1. Well, after draft number 1 came number 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16 different covers, and those last few all kind of look the same, but if you look close, you'll see little changes. See the title here and the title there? Well, little changes like that, but the most important change of them all was that first I had a photograph of my sisters on the cover. What was I thinking? And it's my book. Got a picture of me on the cover now. Thought that made more sense. Well, the back of the book, I'll show you that too. This was first what I had on the back, one illustration from the book. Then I decided, what about this idea for the back of the book? What about this? So that's number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 different cover or backs, back of the book until finally we got the front and the back of the book done. So that's a little bit about how I made that book. To make the music, a lot of people helped me to do this, but the idea was basically to sing the words. And I thought, well, it'd be neat if there's lots of people involved, different people with different ideas and people that can play different instruments, and we can make some of the songs fun and crazy and goofy, and we can make some kind of more slow and relaxing. So we put together lots of different ideas to develop this one CD. And we would practice our songs ahead of time, and we'd sing the words and try to figure out how we wanted to arrange everything. And once we were ready, we'd go into the recording studio where we recorded these songs, and we'd say, okay, let's get these recorded. And we worked hard to get every poem finished up, put it all onto one CD, and finally it was done. After the book was done, it took another 1.5 years to finish that full-length CD, so it was 5.5 years to do that book. Well, what I want to do right now is find out if you might have a question or two. We're going to get back to the music here in a little bit, but if you have a question, something you were hoping I was going to tell you that I have not told you, let's take a question or two. Sometimes people ask me, for example, why is this book called The Tomato Collection? Is anybody wondering why is it called The Tomato Collection? Let's start with that question, then we'll find out if you have a question or two. The reason this book is called The Tomato Collection is when I was writing the book, I noticed something strange about myself. Whenever I would get stuck for an idea, for some reason the first word to jump in my head was simply the word tomato. So I should probably get that checked out, huh? Not sure what the problem is, but whenever I'd get stuck for an idea, I'd stop and I'd think, and I'd say tomato, and I'd think, why am I thinking the word tomato? That wasn't the first title of the book, though. The first title was called Just Short Poems. Then it became Just Some Poems. Then it became The Sun Will Always Float. There's a poem in the book with that title. And finally, I decided to call it The Tomato Collection, a collection of poems and songs and pictures. So let's take 1 or 2 of your questions, and then we'll get back to some of the songs. Way back there, what's your question?
Did you really make up SpongeBob SquarePants?
Well, nope. I think I know the book you're talking about, and I wasn't the author of that book. I wish I was, though. I think that's pretty famous stuff on Nickelodeon, right? Well, sorry to let you down, but I didn't do that one. That's all right. That's all right. Let's take a couple other questions. What's your question right there?
Why didn't you put some of your shows of Edward in it? TV with Edward in it?
Which guy are you thinking of?
Edward.
Well, we're kind of striking out on the questions here. I'm not that. You're thinking of another show, I think, there too, maybe. You guys think I'm more famous than I am, don't you? That's all right, though. You think I write all the shows on Nickelodeon and PBS and well, tell you what, we'll try one more question, then we're going to get back to the music. Right there, what's your question?
What was Jacob looking for?
Excellent question. There's a poem in the book called Jacob's Poem. In fact, we're going to sing this song for you next. In fact, why don't we sing the song, and then we'll answer your question for you after we sing it so everybody kind of knows what that song and the poem is about. All right, Jacob, why don't you come on out here? All right, we're going to leave your hat in the suitcase there. That hat causes more trouble than it's worth. Well, we thought we'd sing Jacob's Poem. Does that sound good, Jacob? All right, this is page 6 of the book, Jacob's Poem.
Can you see them? Do you see them? They got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? They simply must be found. must be found. To the left, to the right, up and down, day and night. Can you see them? Do you see them? They got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? They simply must be found. Hey! They got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? They simply must be found. Can you see them? Do you see them? They got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? They simply must be found. Can you see them? Do you see them? They got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? They simply must be found. Can you see them? Do you see them? Can you see them? You got to be around. Can you see them? Do you see them? Can you see them? We simply must be found.
Thank you. So your question was, what is Jacob looking for? When you hear that song or read the poem, it doesn't really explain what he's looking for. Does anybody have a guess or an idea what they think Jacob might be looking for? What do you think? Looking for his shoes and his socks there? Yeah, we should probably get you some shoes and socks. It's pretty cold out there not to have any socks and shoes. Very good guess. What do you think he might be looking for? Do you have an idea? What do you think he's looking for?
His hat?
His hat? That could definitely be. We lose that hat quite a bit. Well, let's take one more guess. What do you think he's looking for?
Brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters? Excellent. Well, any one of those things could be right. So when I wrote that poem, I wanted it to be kind of mysterious. I wanted it to kind of make you think, well, what's going on? This doesn't tell us what he's looking for. But the answer to that question is, Jacob is looking for ideas. He's considering all the possibilities. He's looking to the left, to the right, up and down, all around. There's ideas are out there somewhere. They just got to be found. So that's the thought behind that poem. Good question. Well, Jacob, you want to do another one of your tricks for us? All right, we're going to do another song here in a bit, but Jacob's going to do for us. You want to do this one? This is a little trick Jacob likes to do sometimes with his feet. Speaking of those feet, do they taste good? So would you like me to count to 3 quickly so you can perform your trick? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 2.5. Are you ready here? You don't look ready right now. All right, Jacob, I will finish this for you. We're spending too much time on this, Jacob. I promise I'll finish this up. Here we go. Ready? 3. Ta-da! There we go. I don't know, Jacob. There we go. All right. Well, we're gonna do. Let's see. We got enough time here. Let's do a couple more songs. Let's do 29 Cookies. It's a poem that I began to write because I had too much to eat.
My stomach's far too full. I'm feeling kind of funny. Not feeling very well. I should have stopped, but they all just taste so great. It's a 28 cookies. I just should not have made 29 cookies. 29 cookies. Who plays guitar on this song. Ate far too much, my stomach's far too full. I'm feeling kind of
Thank you. Well, that's our song, 29 Cookies. We're going to do just one more song with Jacob, and then I'll talk about a couple other things. We'll take a couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap up the show. The song we're going to do for you right now is a brand new song. It's not part of the Tomato Collection. It's going to be on a CD and some other projects actually coming up. It's called Numbers Everywhere. Now, there's motions that go along to the song. I can answer your question a little bit later. There's motions that go along to the song, so I'd like to teach you the motions. Jacob's going to be singing, there are numbers in the air, flying everywhere. So you wave your arms in the air. There you go. And then Jacob's going to sing, there are numbers in the ground, crawling all around. So you crawl your fingers on the ground. Then Jacob's going to sing, there are numbers in the sea, swimming happily. So you swim. And it finishes by saying, there are numbers here and there, numbers everywhere. So you point in all different directions at that point. So here we go. This is the number song. There we go. This is the one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are numbers in the air, flying everywhere. There are numbers on the ground, crawling all around. There are numbers in the sea, swimming happily.
There are numbers here and there, numbers everywhere.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are numbers in the air, flying everywhere. There are numbers on the ground, crawling all around. There are numbers in the sea, swimming happily. There are numbers here and there, numbers everywhere. Numbers everywhere, there are numbers everywhere, there are numbers everywhere, you can see them up there. 1, 2, hey, I have 2 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, you got 5 fingers on your hand.
Oh, yes, I do. And do you know how many days are in a week?
7. How many letters are in the alphabet?
26,
How many seconds are in a minute?
60,
And if you add 16, 26, what does that equal?
86. And if you multiply that by 2, you get
I don't know.
172. And if you add 193, that would equal 365.
So,
That's how many days are in a year.
365 days in a year, that's a lot of days.
You think that's a lot? Well, if there are 60 seconds in a minute, and 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 hours in a day, then that would mean there are 31,536,000 seconds in a year.
Whoa! How many numbers are there?
More than we can count. There are numbers everywhere. There are numbers everywhere. There are numbers everywhere. There are numbers everywhere. There are numbers everywhere.
Numbers, they're everywhere!
Thank you. That's numbers everywhere. And actually, the Grand Rapids Children's Museum is releasing a CD, and that song is going to be on their CD, but we're probably going to use it for some other stuff too. Well, tell you what, Jacob, we're about at the end of the show here. We're about out of time. I do want to mention, though, just a little bit about this book. This is another book of poetry. These are all based on things that I remember from growing up. All kinds of different poems in there. There's 37 of them, but to write the 37 poems that are in this book, I wrote over 100 different ideas. And I don't know if I mentioned it at the start of the show, but that robot, I drew that robot in 5th grade. And I'm going to read just one poem for you here. It's my personal favorite poem in the book. You ready, Jacob? This is how it goes. The titles for the poems, we didn't put any titles on the actual page. There's an index in the back with titles, but not on the page. But here's this one. Joe's mom made the best snack. It was a bowl of bananas, milk, and sugar on top. One day, I asked her for the recipe. You don't. What do you think of that poem? You don't care for it too much? Anyways, there's other poems you might find more interesting than that one, but that's my personal favorite, and that's all I remember. We're at the end of the show here, so Jacob, why don't we take 2 questions, and then you want to do a grand finale trick for us? All right, let's take 2 questions. I'm going to choose the stillest 2 people in the room. Someone who's got a good question here about something with one of the books. Let's see, the stillest person in the room. Right there with the red sweatshirt. What's your question?
What is Jacob's favorite food?
What is Jacob's favorite food?
Yeah.
That's a good question. What is your favorite food? Spinach dip? That's my favorite food. What's your favorite food? Is broccoli?
Is it yes and no?
No, you pretty much you're pretty easy going. You pretty much like most foods. Yeah. Asparagus? Anyways, let's take one last question, and then Jacob's going to do a grand finale trick to finish the show. So the stillest person in the room right now appears to be right there with the white and blue, yep, right there. Yep, what's your question?
His name is Jacob too.
Good name, huh? Yeah. What's your question? You remember?
What do you do with him when he goes to bed?
What does Jacob do in his off time, maybe? Instead when he's not doing shows, what does Jacob do? Well, you've got a few different hobbies, and he's usually he just kind of relaxes and takes it easy most of the time. He likes to read. You love to read, and in fact, you're working on a CD of your own, right? Someday Jacob's going to have his own album of his own music, so he's been working on writing that and trying to come up with the songs. So Jacob, he's working hard on that. Well, we're at the end of the show here, so I want to say 2 things before Jacob does the last trick. First, I want to thank you guys for being a really fun group. I've enjoyed coming here to your school. And also, the second thing I want to say is I hope you guys might be thinking to yourself, hey, I can do that. I can write poems. I've got ideas in my head. I can start, just start with one idea, and slowly but surely, the more you write, the more you learn, the more you do things, the more you'll be able to accomplish. So I just want to encourage you to have fun with your ideas. That's all I did, was sat down and started having fun writing ideas. And here I am with a crazy little bald guy next to me singing some songs. So Jacob, are you ready to do the grand finale trick? All right, Jacob's going to do a grand finale trick. Which one are you going to do for us? I was thinking you could do the... Do you remember what happened last time you tried that? Have you practiced since last time? Are you sure? Well, what Jacob wants to try to do for us right now is he wants to do a backflip. So Jacob, if you want to do this, you got to stretch out first, right? I don't want you to hurt yourself, so stretch out. There we go. And there we go. Okay, do a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, you got enough room here to do this? Did that do anything? I didn't think so. Okay, Jacob, be very careful. I don't want you to hurt yourself. You know that there's no health insurance on you? Sorry, but anyways, here we go on the count of 3, Jacob. Ready? Here we go. Ready? 1, be careful. 2, 3. Oh boy, we need to practice that some more. Well, that's the end of the show. Thank you so very much. The one other thing that I want to say is I didn't answer all your questions. There might be other things you're still wondering. The website, tomatocollection.com, I answered lots of questions. So if you want to check out that website there or have the teachers maybe print off, there's a bunch of questions and answers, and you can find out a lot more about the making of the books and CDs. And there's other stuff there as well. So thank you so very much. Your teachers will tell you kind of where to go from here. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.